Joining me to discuss is Roger Marshall. Senator Marshall, it's good to see you as always. Thanks for taking the time to be here. Look, if passed as is, the House reconciliation bill will feature plenty of good stuff, but a lot of overspending above Democrat levels, dangerous and unsustainable Democrat levels. Do you think the Senate can fix the bill to make it resemble what Americans voted for in November, which is a rejection of massive Democrat overspending?
Absolutely, Chris, and that's why the bill is over here. I want to just emphasize, though, what the bill will do as is. It's going to prevent the largest tax increase in history. It's going to kick illegal aliens off Medicaid. It's going to defund Planned Parenthood. Those are just three simple things that we're doing. It looks like the House has probably cut about $1.6 trillion in spending. We want to get that up to well over $2 trillion. So I think that's really the number one issue over here is how much more money can we cut? And then we would like to make all the Trump tax cuts permanent, and we think that's what's going to grow the economy and over a 10-year window decrease that deficit by some $8 trillion.
Can the Senate front load the savings rather than back load it? Because as you know, Senator, a current Congress cannot bind a future Congress. You know, some leftists can get in charge down the road and take all of those proposed cuts and do away with them.
So I'm sure there's a lot of ways to do it, and I understand the concept of front loading, but if you're giving it for 100% for 4 years, why not just extend it permanently? The whole idea is then it would take 60 senators in the future to change that, unless, of course, they controlled the House, the Senate, and the White House as well. So I think if we get it permanent, it's going to be really hard for a future Democrat Party to change it again unless they control all three of those levers.
Right. And they have in very recent years. Now, Senator, a few days ago, right here on the program, we touched on a disturbing clause unearthed in the bill's fine print. Provision prohibits states like yours from defending themselves from the uses and abuses of artificial intelligence by the federal government. In your view, Senator, does that provision survive the Senate?
I don't think it does, and I don't think it even survives the parliamentarian. There's something called the Byrd Rule, and for us to have this in a reconciliation bill, the issue we're talking about has to do more about money, about the budget, than it does policy. That would sound like a policy change to me. The one thing I would add, the caveat I would add, though, is right now we are ahead of China in AI. We need to keep it that way. So we need smart, consistent regulation rather than 50 states doing something different in this area. But regardless, I don't think that this survives the bird bath, as we call it over here.
Okay. Senator, last question for you. President Trump showed up to the House, demanded the SALT deduction not be raised. And he's right. Why should red states pay for massive taxes of socialist blue states? If passed as is, the SALT deduction cap would be raised to $40,000, quadrupling the deduction cap currently in place in the Trump tax cuts. Does the increase in the SALT deduction survive the Senate?
Well, I think we'll have to take a very close look at it. I want to translate that to what it would really cost Americans. For the next 10 years, that'll cost Americans $350 billion. So essentially, red states like Kansas bailing out blue states like New York and California to the tune of $350 billion. Now, somehow we got to get this across the House as well. There's no senators over here from a SALT state, a high tax, property tax type of state. So for us, we would just soon keep it the same. Somehow we'd like to lower it, but still we need to make sure when it gets back to the House that it passes. Remember, they got just a very narrow window over there. Both sides are negotiating through the press right now. Hopefully we can thread that needle, and that's why we need President Trump to show his leadership and help us find a spot we can get it back through the House as well.
Yeah, Senator, as a Texan, I resent the hell out of blue state Republicans trying to offload their inability to make change in their states onto my state. I really don't like that at all. Senator Marshall, thank you, sir. We appreciate you being here on the Salcedo Show today and sharing your thoughts. Coming up, folks.